Okay, YouTube, me again. I was actually trying to make a video to send to another gentleman who's got a truck, I think actually pretty close to the same year, if not the same year as mine. He was asking me about the wiring, how I got it hooked up. Uh, and I'm sure I was doing something wrong, but it wouldn't let me send the video because it was like 4 minutes long, so it was too many, uh, MB, whatever you call it, megabytes, whatever. Anyways, so the heck with it. I'll do it on YouTube. That way, if anybody else needs to use it for their information, well then they can, because that's what this is about. It's about everybody, problem solving, I guess you can say. But if you used a factory fuse box like I did on GM, of course you could probably pull these fuses and relays. I'm lazy. I don't know how many times I said it in the video. I'm lazy, but it really only takes a matter of 3 watt. It would depend on what year. If you go to L21swap.com, it gives you a listing of different years, and because some years they have another wire you have to hook up for the start. I don't know if the ECU has to see a start signal for it to even start or what, but my year doesn't require that, so one less wire. But this is what I got, how I did it. These are your these wires pretty much go to the engine. They what power the injectors and all that stuff, whatnot. And I think eliminate a lot of these if you do the little, take the wiring harness part and narrow it, size it down, because there's a whole bunch of wires there you really don't need. But I'm lazy, so I didn't do it. But these are like pretty much your main three. This red one is going to be a power all the time. I mean, don't use this as, oh, it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one right here. Go to the LT1, swap.com. Make sure it's correct for yours, because they might be in different locations for different years. So, but these 3 wires is basically your main 3 you're going to need. This red one is going to be a power all the time. Needs to be a fused, probably 30 amp. I don't know. I think that it says on the website what the recommendation is. But, this needs to be a fused power all the time. This pink wire will be key on power, fused, relayed. If you don't have relay, it needs to be on a relay. I use the factory Ford ignition ECU relays, so this thing's hot with key on, key run, engine running. This thing's hot in that position. So I used a factory one because it was just easier to tie into it to feed the 12 volts to this pink wire that's hot in the run position. So that was just easy for me there. This is the fuel pump wire that's going to be fed 12 volts from the fuel pump relay from the ECU. So this would go straight to your fuel pump. In my case, it does not, because I have to run the wire all the way back there. So what I did was took the Ford factory fuel pump relay, which was originally grounded by the factory ECU. So I just grounded it, gave it a ground, and then used this power wire that, or this wire is coming from the GM fuse box, and used it as a signal wire to the relay. So then the relay comes on and then feeds 12 volts to, well, in this truck it would go to the fuel tank selector switch, then to the fuel pump. But nevertheless, that this wire gives 12 volts signal to that relay, which kicks the fuel pump on for me. All this extra wiring here, this is my fuel level sender. It was messed up from in the truck originally, so I ran new wire. But if you're not going to be using the factory GM gauges like I did, you won't need all this extra wiring. That'll be gone, unplugged, out of the way. But being I wanted to use the factory cluster, I had to have them. So all these wires are not needed to run. These are just wires that the cluster needs to see in order for all my gauges to work. Temperature, oil pressure, tachometer, all that stuff. So that's the only reason that's all those extra wires. If I wasn't using that, all this would be gone. You'd have them 3 right there. possibly this fourth one, depending on what year once again. So anyways, that's the quick video. Hope it helps you out. Remember L21swap.com. I'm not a spokesman for them. It's just I got a lot of really good information off there. There's a lot of good detail on there on, what to do with these wiring harnesses to make them work. So if you don't know about it, go check them out. It'll help you a bunch if you're doing this. But man, hey, I appreciate y'all watching this video, and hope it helps. Until next time.